get into this one.
Get it.
We like a month ago, we decided that we were going to try to do some type of live stream to watch along during playoff games, and we had like that amazing idea, and then we never informed people.
Yeah.
But maybe this will be cut and put at the start just so we get like the most people knowing that we're doing this.
Welcome to Post 90 Podcast. This is Justin and Adam.
Yes.
I'm Justin, that's Adam.
Thanks for tuning in today.
If we make the playoffs, you will be able to see us and hear us live for those games. So you can, pop a beer. We don't know if we'll have snacks and talk to you guys.
Favors.
Cheetos.
Maybe we'll be on Twitch, uncensored. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll definitely uncensored. It won't be the like button up,
clean cut that you see us on YouTube
thing. And so look forward to that.
Want to tell everybody where they can find us?
Post 90 on all platforms. It's where you'll find us. If you're listening to us on some audio only platform, there is a place where you can see our faces. Mm-hmm. We always do give the warning,
the disclaimer.
Yeah, I think our uncle said it best. We have faces for radio.
Which one was that?
Uncle Mike.
I was gonna say because none of them have faces for.
Yeah, we get it from them.
Yeah.
Well, you do.
Yeah, you're not a part of that. But also, if you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe.
Subscriber.
People have been doing that lately, actually.
I think we earn it. We
got like 3 or 4 over the course of the last 2 episodes. Like that's huge.
I'd say we earned it, and I think it. There's presence on Twitter as well that hopefully some of that is starting to trickle over. Mm-hmm. To people who want to get notified. Twitter's
been great, dude.
We've been great platform.
Chatting with a lot of people. We've been running polls. We've been just overall in the community over there because it's been a crazy time.
If you want to actually get in touch with us and share your opinion with us, the best way to do it is Twitter, because we're always on there. You'll never not find us there, and we're not big time dudes that are going to air you.
No,
we will respond.
Never.
So follow us and share your opinion.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the form of a tweet, not in DMs. It's a little because we can grow together.
We can do it publicly.
Yeah. And let other people chime in.
Yeah.
It's great.
And we could share our opinions on this Atlanta game that I'll be honest, early it looked good. And by early, I mean like 15 to 20 minutes. And then from then on, I think when we got scored on in about like the 20th or whatever, it was just depression land for quite a while.
If you had to sum up most NYCFC games this season, it would be exactly that.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, we looked great for 15 minutes, and then what happened?
Mm-hmm. Just fell flat.
You definitely saw that in this game. Not to jump too far forward, but, the team after the substitutions, in my opinion, has to be the team starting.
Yeah.
And then the subs after that have to be the ones that did follow, being Tales and Heber.
Yeah.
Those have to be the guys coming in.
I think this game made me realize that it's a complete mental issue right now. Obviously everybody in the world should know it's not a talent or a skill issue. People were touting us as the cup favorites, like literally a month ago, not a month, maybe 2. But if we can remember that, because it seems so distant at this point. But the fact that we looked so good for 15 minutes, and then the second that goal went in, it was done. It was like, okay, we're basically conceding this game.
We are what people are saying.
We don't want to try anymore.
Yeah.
We don't, we can't try even.
I think it's funny that you brought that up about how people were saying that we were cup favorites and stuff like that not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And Ian and Joe touched on that during the game, where I think it was Joe saying he's happy that he's not into gambling because he wouldn't have placed the bet that we'd be in this situation back in August. He wouldn't have placed that bet. But here we are.
And he talks about how people are constantly from around the league, I guess, and just outside of the sports world that he knows have been hitting him up and being like, what's going on? you were telling me how you guys were going to the Cup for sure, like
Yeah.
not that long ago, and now it's just been an incredible fall from grace.
Yeah. And just to take a couple of seconds real quick, Joe and Ian last night were insane. Like, so on point that it needs to be commended. Like, every single time, I feel like they need to speak more the way that they did last night, in terms of pushing the team, but also they have like a crystal ball somewhere back there. They basically called the late goal, by saying, stating the fact that Atlanta concedes a lot in the last 10 minutes. We score a lot in the last 15. There's a recipe, for what happened. And then, essentially calling the Gudi free kick by saying, he's only scored one.
Yeah.
He's bound to. Let's get
And
it.
he is.
And
I
he is
mean,
bound to.
that's Thor.
It just makes you sad that that first free kick that Medina kind of, put on target, put on ahead, but you wish that Gudi sub happened literally 1 minute quicker.
Yeah. I get stressed out the fact that you just brought up Medina, because I don't want to.
I knew that. I texted you.
Tear into him.
I texted you about it. I knew that this would happen today, and so I was prepared for it. And so I'll just put my little.
Somebody literally posted a stat line, after Medina was subbed out, and what it was 4 touches and 4 losses of possession, and then he was basically subbed out, and that's essentially what Medina did. And now I think the stat sheet actually maybe made him look better than he was, because clearly, everybody saw the 1 possession that he gave away. That was just awful. Like, Ian was like, where was he even going?
Yeah.
Like, if he didn't get dispossessed, what was even the plan?
And it looked like a kid taking a stroll through, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
Just kicking the ball,
no
like,
awareness,
yards ahead of him.
Yeah.
As if there's not a midfielder, like, barreling towards him.
And an option for a pass as well.
Yeah.
Not only,
It's just no awareness.
none.
And gives up the ball, and then they just go
Easy
right
ball.
down the field and just make us pay, like,
Yeah.
immediately.
It was
That goal
good.
sucked.
Like, going back to Ian and Joe, like, it was good to hear Ian, not by name, but we all knew who he was talking about. He was basically saying, Ronny, if your job's in question right now, from a lot of the fans, why are you not being ruthless?
Yeah.
Why are you not? And he basically phrased it as, why are you not taking the guys who are losing possession and costing goals off?
Yeah.
Meaning Medina. Medina shouldn't play right now.
No, I
in
don't
his
think
form.
so.
If it's not that, like I said, that team that was in after the substitutions, if it's not them, then I don't want to see Medina.
Yeah, I think we ran through the part where you try to get a player to play through his issues. At a certain point, you have to, like, sit them, because I think that maybe does something where they're like, oh, this is, like, I should not be a player that sits. In their mind, every player would believe that about themselves, and that might hopefully, like, flick a switch for him. Because we've seen, although it hasn't happened often, but there are very bright flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
They just do not happen often.
You don't have to tell me, dude.
Like, they don't happen often at all, though.
I am aware of his flashes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ronny should have been a little bit more ruthless and subbed him off quicker and probably made those changes quicker.
Yeah.
And it's weird, we'll get into it later, but we're not by any stretch of the imagination Ronny out.
No.
But it's very weird and troubling to see, the trend of still late subs while knowing we're a team that responds that way after subs. We're a team that responds very, very well to subs, and we tend to look like a different and better team.
Yep.
It's weird to wait
Like, every
that
time.
long, every single time.
Literally,
It's like there used to be Ronny bingo, where it was like,
Yeah.
70th minute substitution.
Ian actually said something about it last night.
Really?
Because he was talking about, like, some of the gripes that fans have with Ronny, And Ian himself said, well, like, maybe we need to start focusing on getting subs made a little bit earlier. And that's the issue that some fans have. And, like, he put that on the national broadcast as a man on payroll.
That's why we love Ian and Joe, because, last night was... You can take the tape from that and learn so much about the team. You could literally not watch a game, and you take just the tape of them speaking about the game and about the team last night, and it would perfectly summarize where we are.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows them better than Joe and Ian.
I don't think so either. And they do a great job of, because that's really what announcers are for, is explaining, like, to the casual person that tunes in, like, what is going on.
Right.
And it's beyond just like, oh, Thor passed it to Medina. Medina took a shot. It's off the keeper's hands. We're out
Actually
for a corner.
Meaningful
like very
commentary.
Exactly. And they're like, I mean, by far the best at it in the league. I haven't heard better, personally. So Gudi has to start. And then I tweeted it last night. Thales has to start. Like, no doubt. We cannot do this sub thing anymore.
He should be the left wing, realistically.
Thales has to start over anybody else on the team. Like, the energy that he brought when he came onto the field last night, it was insane. Like, it got us our goal. He drew 2 fouls in very dangerous spots. One of them led to the free kick that we ultimately equalized with. But this is, like, such a common denominator this season. Like you said with the subs, the whole mentality of our team changes when we bring on people like Thales.
Right.
So why don't we just start the game with them and start with that mentality? I mean, it seems elementary, right? But
unless he's keeping that as a card in his back pocket.
Yeah.
Of, like, if this doesn't work, if my idea doesn't work, then we'll, bring this out.
Yeah.
If we have to.
Having the super sub, but
right.
And we can, like, barely touch on the Gudi goal and just kind of. Yeah. I don't even know the word for it. Just.
Yeah, I mean.
Swoon over it for a couple of minutes, and then I have a pretty, I think, long discussion we can get into about Ronny.
Yeah, I mean, with the goal, I guess in the moment, what took away from it from me was that I didn't understand the gravity of it, and in that I couldn't enjoy it as much as I should have.
Yeah.
For me, and so I didn't realize that, because every time that they kept talking about the other fixtures, I was like, okay, but why does it matter? And it mattered because it was adjusting where we were in the table. That brought us up to right outside, I believe, of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Basically striking distance from that. And so we needed at least a point out of that game to be in that position. So that's the gravity of the goal. Obviously rescuing a point from a big opponent.
And I think it was even beyond, like, to me, I think I had just said it before we started recording, it was far beyond rescuing the point. Because, if we didn't get that point, we'd only be 2 points out of the playoffs right now. So either way, you need a win. It doesn't matter if you're 1 or 2 behind. 2 or 3 behind. But the thing is with that is, I mean, we set a club record this past month in minutes without scoring. So just breaking that floodgate down to now have something
goal as well.
Non-Tati goal, to have something to build on, to be like, hey, we're a team that can score. Like, just to be able to remember that, I think morale-wise is huge. And now let's get into the big old discussion. So, this Ronny out thing. So,
it's funny
because you already said it at the start. Well,
you said it like a YouTube drama thing. It's like, like on podcasts when
I feel like it's a thing that everybody thinks it's a thing, but it's really not.
Yeah, I think it's really, it's not. We're thinking too much in the present when you say things like that, and you brought it up.
Really, so we put out a poll, just asking, because I think there's a disconnect between the club and the fans, and not all the fans, because obviously we're not Ronny out, but I think there's a large population on Twitter that is very vocal about being fed up with Ronny. And we put out a poll asking, do you think that the club is as Ronny out as fans are? And actually, overwhelmingly, a lot of people said no, which is personally what I would vote on that poll. But that just shows like a major disconnect between the fans. And really, I mean, there was one tweet, and I don't want to like single specific people out, but this one guy, Jonathan Densa, I'm not sure if we ever talked to him, but he tweeted in the 90th minute, Gudi may have just saved Delia's job for another few days. Like, if that game finished 1-0, there's no world where NYCFC fired Ronny.
Yeah.
Like, there's no world. Like, I can't, like, at all. Like, if we lost 3-0, he wouldn't have gotten fired. If we lost 5-0, he wouldn't have gotten fired.
Not in this position. I don't think we're the club to do that.
Not 3 games before the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, who...
We're not the club. We're not those guys.
That's so reactionary.
We're going to ride him out. We're going to ride him out until the end.
Oh, okay.
You know?
But that's such like a... I don't want to, like, go at this guy. But, like, saying somebody is, like, acting very reactionary is, like, it seems bad, but I just mean it, like, as an adjective, I guess.
As an emotional tweet.
And I don't think that is the way that, like, even on a base level of business, that organizations, like, don't have that trait.
Right.
But yeah, I knew that Ronny thing was going to take a while, because
I feel like
there's a lot to be said.
Yeah, I think we can kind of go on and on. But the moral is if we don't make the playoffs, Ronny out. If we bomb out of the first round, Ronny out, because it's been everybody else out.
And if we bomb out of the second, we talk about it.
We have discussions.
We talk about it.
3, Ronny might get a promotion. I don't know how that's possible.
David Tim's out. Ronny is the GM.
We're Ronny in at 3.
Ronny in. Yeah, bro. 2 wins, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Ronny for...
Is two wins... Not... That's the conference championships. Like, I don't know if it's like football, but wild card, and then a division game, and then the conference, and then the MLS. So ultimately,
it depends on your position.
I mean, we're not above 6, you know?
Yeah.
So we ultimately, to win silverware, we got to win 4 playoff games. So two dubs to me, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, let me see that 4, man.
Yeah.
Let me see that 4 out of nowhere.
And whenever, not when, but if we ever crash out of the playoffs...
with us, it feels like when.
We are not only going to be emotional on Twitter, but also stay tuned, because you will see us emotional live and in person with our voices and our faces if you choose to listen on YouTube. So
let's maybe try to figure out, if the people are into it, maybe some watch along stuff for the playoffs. Yeah. Now this is our outro. Hey, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening to us.
Peace.